Halo, halo. Ya. Nikah, backsound kah? Kecilin aja. Kecilin aja. Misalkan kurang kecil sih bisa tambah. Gue gak yakin sih tapi ada lisensi ini gak sih? Enggak ya. Kalau coba sama sistemnya error time. Ya, berapa? Dan semua jauh. Aku lupa. Coba ya. Waduh. Kurang ya. Udah. Harap temen besok sih. Waduh, bentar guys ya. Penting Chinese. juga. Males ngomong. Aduh, oh iya. Ambil lah. Saatnya gagal. Semoga aja dapat cookie. Bisa doang. Cookie. Apa ini dulu? Lihat questnya. Mending akun quest. Ini dulu ya. Yang disuruh ke sini. Yang paling dekat kali ya. Ya. Ini dia nih. Skip apa kali ya. Ayo aku lihat ini. Nah gitu dong, easy coy, gas lah. Kita ke skip lah, pas banget.
Wow! If it isn't the Traveler and Paimon! Oh, have you seen the article I wrote about you?
Ha! You've got some nerve! You just used us to make some quick...
Oh, you needn't worry about that. It's all right, though. I've set aside...
Really?
You're almost a little too...
Oh, Paimon knows you're not like that.
Still, what brings you here all of a sudden? Were you looking...
A friend of ours met you a while...
Ah, so you know... So she mentioned me?
She said that you're a real...
Nice. In which case...
Huh? So your article in the paper...
Oh, of course it doesn't. That was more like live photography. What I'd like to do is dive deeper and ask you to talk about the things you've seen and experienced.
Yeah, are we even qualified enough?
Why not? If I say you're worth an interview, then you're worth it. But not right now, of course. I'll need a few days to prepare.
Oh, in that case, we'll just chat when you have the time then?
Oh, so that's a yes? Ooh, splendid! I'll tell the editor-in-chief immediately. Whew, so much to get done now. Talk to you...
Wait, Charlotte, Paimon's still got a question for you.
And what's that?
If, just for example, Fontaine were to be flooded tomorrow, what would you do today?
Agak serem misalnya.
Huh. That's the prophecy you're talking about, isn't it? I mean, I do hear about it often, but I've never once thought that the day could be... If you're seriously asking, then I might try and think of a way to leave Fontaine. Oh, but I'm still a journalist, first and foremost. That means I have a duty to be reporting from the scene. And secondly, I wouldn't forsake my homeland that easily. From what I've seen, most people don't know what they do. So in all likelihood, I'd probably still be prepping at the office for that interview of ours. Just think about it. If this nation really were to be suddenly destroyed tomorrow, but I still successfully finish an exclusive interview with a truly unique person, and then do you know what I'd do? Well, I'd write that story, send it for printing, and use messenger pigeons to get copies out to the various nations as soon as possible. I'm not a dreamer, nor am I a workaholic, but I do love my job. And I'd be proud of Lee. But anyway, that's my answer.
That's so nice. All of a sudden, Paimon actually kinda envies her. Anyway, let's go and take a look at the sea, shall we?
Lah, betul. Aduh. Capek deh.
The sea breeze and scenery can be a pretty soothing Paimon's been thinking. If it wasn't Fontaine, but all of Tevat that would be destroyed tomorrow, where would we... No, Paimon should ask, if you could choose, what would... We've always been moving to the next destination, so you mean still traveling? Huh. Wait, isn't that what we've always been doing?
Itu dulu udah jauh pakai tuh di atas gitu centang malamnya. Aku udah kereta ya.
Feels like you'll grow mold if you stay here long enough. But it's still better than...
Ah, so the two of you are still here. Wonderful.
Oh, you're from the Palais Mermonia, aren't you?
Yes, I'm Isadora. Not at all. I'm well aware that, yes, inside the opera.
A riot?
Well, that said, I don't personally... Lady Farina was watching a performance at the Opera House. And while she was resting during an intermission, some other audience members suddenly started harassing her, loudly accusing her of doing nothing about the prophecy crisis. And before she could respond, others started to join in. The crowd continued to grow, and protests against the Hydro Archon started to break out.
Jadi suara gitu kan. Terus ini udah.
So people have started to put the blame on Farina. Guess they finally found an outlet for the pressure they've been under due to the prophecy.
I agree. People will naturally rely on gods, as is customary. But the moment...
So what happened after that? Is Farina okay?
Seeing that the situation was spiraling out of control and that further argument was... The Marechaussee Phantom had their...
So, you mean she's...
That's right. The Marechaussee has dispatched many people to search for her, but we don't have any leads yet. That said, I don't think there's much to worry about. Good. Monsieur Nervillet sent me to tell you about the situation, but he didn't say anything else.
Don't worry, this is more than enough.
Ah, is that so? Well, all right then.
Well, sounds like we should hurry over to Poisson then. If we know Farina, she won't try to fix things in this situation. Instead, and as we also know, she may be loud and dramatic, but she doesn't have a heart of stone. When Nervalet was talking to her in the Palais Mermoni, it would be hard for her to ignore being accused by the public. Paimon thinks Farina's probably taken the opportunity to slip away to Pulse. Huh. Well, what do you
Bisa
think?
kebanyakan kayak
In
banget.
that case, there's not a moment to lose. Pusol, here we come!
Oke, udah. Tinggal ke mana nih? Udah tempat ini ya. Aduh, aku mau minum. Kalau misalkan artnya selesai.
This place looks deserted. Guess all the survivors must have evacuated already. All that's left here are signs of devastation. Could Farina really be here? Let's try to find her as soon as possible.
As possible. Bentar itu. Oh, itu situ. Kayaknya itu orang itu.
That's Farina, right over there.
Should I just give up? What was meant to happen did happen after all. I'm sorry. Give up, Farina. There's no point in holding out. I'm sorry. But what can I even do other than to repeat meaning? Who's that?
Who's that?
Don't worry, Farina, it's just us.
So it is you.
Farina, you were crying just now, weren't you? The tear stains on your face.
What do you mean, tear stains? Oh, I remember. The show at the Opera House earlier this morning was so moving. I'm still trying to process it. Who did that uncivilized rabble think they were? Disturbing my enjoyment of the arts. They even dared to tout their archon. I must teach them a lesson. I can just imagine their twisted and frustrated faces once they realize it. Oh, and I'm sure Nouvellette and those people from the Marche Chaussee Phantom are freaking out right now. Of course not.
Hey, there she is! The Hydro Archon's over there! Quick, after her!
Kenapa dia kesana kalau emang itu?
Farina, those people seem to be after you.
They are? They're just some rabid fans who want to cut the line because they have... that's against the rules.
Kenapa dah?
Farina just ran off.
Bingung lagi.
Quick, we have to catch up with her.
Telinga aku sakit. Fanatik, emang ada yang fanatik? Apa boleh saya fanatik gitu?
This should be the place, right? Hey, Farina! There's a good hiding spot over here. Quick, come to Paimon before the rest of them catch up to you.
What is this place?
Hurry, they're almost here.
Fine. I suppose haste is warranted.
Ngomong dulu, ngumpet deh. Nah, serah dah. Tempat apa ini ya?
Paimon's exhausted.
I'm so tired. I don't...
Bentar
no,
gitu.
I mean, I nearly gave in to the sheer... You were right.
Yep, that's a good girl.
Dah.
A quake of this kind preceded the flooding in Poisson, did it?
It can't be. It's
Well, there's no need to worry too much about that. Novelette's made some emergency plans, so the evacuation should be...
Tidak nemu ingat.
I hope you're right.
Airnya.
But the people of Poisson,
Tinggal dikit.
they've... It's true. I've been investigating the prophecy for hundreds of years. I once had informants all over Tevat, searching for clues and feeding information back to me. I've tried all kinds of ways, too, to hold back the sea. But all my efforts proved to be futile in the end. Really, the truth has been clear to me for a very long time. We cannot make an enemy of the divine. Give up, indeed. I've thought about giving up so many times. Fate is really unreasonable, isn't it? It has no heart and obeys no rules. The prophecy has only just started to come true, and so many people have already lost their lives. But just now, it all became clear to me. I still don't have the right to come to terms with fate on behalf of everyone else.
Alasan keras macam apa ini?
As long as the final moment hasn't come, it's still not too late. Don't worry. I will keep hope alive for everyone until the very end. Well, that's enough for now. I got the impulse to play the stricken maiden, but honestly, considering my rank and station, that wasn't a good fit at all.
Coba ganti ipon. Bisa terus deh.
Don't take any of what I just said seriously. How could I possibly let Fontaine fall to the wind?
Come on! Paimon could have sworn you were actually being honest just now.
Biasanya kamu tipu.
Share my burden. That's impossible. It was fated right from the start that this would be my duty alone. A witness. Yes, I've heard that you came to Tevat from beyond the stars, yes. In other words, you never... And if Tevat is, in its entirety, a show on a stage, then you're just a spectator, aren't you?
Mengkah? Bentar. Ya iyalah. Lah. Kok malah ke situ. Oh, ngeri.
Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes my opening performance.
Benar.
Now, without further ado, we may proceed to the trial of our god.
So, this is what it is. Yes, do not forget, however, that I am Fosalor, the god of justice, the embodiment of justice itself. Does it not strike you as even the least bit absurd to bring the very—
May I interpret these words as your refusal to stand trial? In that case, you will have the opportunity to defend your honor through a duel.
You would draw your blade against a god?
Emang
I
aku
see.
itu
It seems like you have made up your mind.
Paimon can't believe it. She just surrendered.
What the heck is going on? Did I just see—
Wow, how utterly humiliating.
Lady Farina, what is the meaning of this?
Shh. It would seem that there has been a misunderstanding. To be clear, the raising of both hands is not always an indication of surrender.
Looking for
Kenapa sih?
excuses again, huh?
I raised my hands just now to indicate my acceptance of the trial. No duel shall be necessary. I will admit that I've been running away for a long time. I'm sorry, everyone. I was unable to protect the people of Poisson. It is my duty to stand trial for my crimes. You are not the only ones to— But now, it is time I, Farina, will use this trial to show the world the true meaning of justice! This time, I will applaud and rejoice. One of the most outrageous and fantastical arcs known to the opera epiclese is now unfolding before— Mark my words. This shall be one of the most exhilarating and brilliant shows ever to grace the stage of Fontaine. The trial of the Hydro Archon, Fosalor, will now begin!
Oh, no! Why does it feel like Farina just took over the whole thing? Like, come on! Didn't she just get— Also, even though she's still acting super dramatic, she is taking this seriously.
All right, then. Who will be—
The court asks the prosecutor to please take the stand.
Is that so? Very well.
buat apa ya? Nebak banget.
Also, please allow me to ask, as a final question before the trial begins, just how much work did you do?
Well, we did do a lot of prep after the meeting that day.
I can go over the tasks assigned to the Spina di Rosula, since they were rather straightforward and easy.
Navia, the president of the Spina...
Most of the people who participated in the disturbance this morning were my subordinates. They changed into plain clothes and came to the Opera House as regular audience members, waiting for the perfect opportunity to incite insurrection against you.
Nggak tahu banget.
The people's resentment against their Archon has been building as more and more of the prophecy is fulfilled. A spark was all we needed to turn smoldering anger into a flame. Moreover, according to our understanding and analysis of you, when something like that occurred, you would likely flee So, we arranged for a second group to lie in wait there.
So, you mean... the ones who scoured the settlement for me were also...
And their goal was to force you to step into the giant magic box so you may personally participate in the greatest magic performance in all of Fontaine.
That's right.
Apa sih ya?
That house was a magic box, rather than someone's residence.
As the super ultimate version of the setup that I used when I first performed at the Opera Epiclese, the volume of the box was increased by a whole order of magnitude, and the distance it traversed was the entire gap between Poisson and Arenius. Its cargo, of course, was an Archon instead of a human. My thanks, Farina. Without your help, we could never have pulled off such an extraordinary performance.
You're welcome?
Of course, this performance was only made possible with Father's support. The House of the Hearth spent a massive amount of labor in Mora to pull this off.
Bantuan ayah. House of the Heart. Lebih banyak sekali uang dan tenaga untuk menyiapkan ini. Uang.
We had to select a location, construct the giant magic box, dig a tunnel, and open up a path through the water. It was a lot of work for all of us.
Kenapa nggak diangkat aja? Kebak abis. Iya ya.
So, in other words, the earthquake that we felt within the giant magic box was...
That's right. It wasn't a sign of another disaster to come.
Then, I can guess Nervilette and Cloran's parts.
Berapa? Sebelumnya tuh mau ngomong tapi ya dibuka dulu.
You gathered a crowd, prepared a stage, and made all so that as soon as I appeared on the stage, the trial may commence.
Yes, that is correct.
Well, Clorand, I must commend you for...
Thank you.
As for you, traveler, I suppose your role was to keep me distracted with conversation once you'd make sure that I didn't notice anything amiss before revealing yourself as my prosecutor once we'd arrived onto the stage.
Oh?
Is that so? Then it's fine. It matters. The stage is already set, so there's no reason to disappoint the audience.
Kan sama aja ya.
Let's see this trial through to the very end.
Bingung.
Sir Prosecutor, please allow me to pass this along. This is a document that Miss Charlotte applied for and received permission to share with you during the trial. according to her, it should speed up the proceedings.
Huh? Charlotte wanted to give us
Kesalahan
something?
besar.
Oh, so she's... Oh, let Paimon see. Isn't this the exclusive interview that she did with us before? So she's already finished it, huh? Wait, then that means this document is a perfect timeline of everything that's happened ever since we stepped foot in Fontaine! So in other words, we can refer to this anthology of evidence every time we want to use something from our journey as evidence for an argument. Let's quickly confirm the information in it. Just think of it as a refresher, alright?
Okay.
You defeated the Hydro Archon in the very first duel you took part in at the Opera House. That's one for the history books, all right. I didn't think that you'd wind up getting to the bottom of the case I've been following all this time. I guess you could also see this as a happy coincidence. This is the first time Monsieur Nervillette had a difference of opinion with the oratories.
Ini juga Chill
Even the
kan
Hydro
Hydro ya.
Archon can't figure it out.
Kekuatan Hydro ini gede. Makanya ke Fontaine.
A Fatui Harbinger. She's an extraordinary
Nah, yang
person.
anehnya tuh
Her
Barbara.
instinct must mean something.
Ada.
The fortress of Meripede was almost destroyed in a single day. That I didn't witness that scene personally will always be a source of professional regret, I think. According to Monsieur Nervillette, both Child and that whale should have been in the primordial sea at that time.
Itu si Chill itu kenapa ya? Gitu ya.
I nearly lost my awesome friend Navia. To be honest, that still gives me shivers. The words of someone as extraordinary as a witch can probably only be truly understood when something surreal happens to you. I nearly lost my awesome...
The prosecution and the defense are both in position.
Nah,
The trial shall now begin.
Oh,
Ya,
come
request itu masih
on,
gitu.
Nervillette. There's no need to repeat all the unimportant legalese. Just fast forward to the part where the prosecution lays out my offenses. As the defendant and the lead actress of this performance, of course, it is only natural for humans to struggle to understand the actions of a...
Masih
That's
kata
true.
ada.
But my charge here is unrelated to your
Ah, ini
conduct as an
ngomong.
Archon.
Akhirnya setelah berabad-abad si Traveler ngomong juga.
Instead, I would like to charge you as a fraud who's never been the Archon in the first place.
Wait, what was that? Lady Farina's a fraud?
Hey, I came here thinking that we were going to try the Hydro Archon for forsaking her duty, but did I hear that right?
Charge accepted. Lady Farina, do you plead guilty to the charge?
Kirain beda. Ini jalan-jalan.
Lady Farina,
I plead not guilty. How can I be guilty? There is no way that
Guilty
I,
and that
Faucilor,
is bahasa
otherwise
Inggris.
known as Farina de Fontaine, a member of the Seven and the Regina of all waters, kindreds, peoples, and laws of Fontaine, could be anything other than your true Archon.
Yeah. Even though Lady Farina can be rather eccentric, isn't it going too far to doubt her?
Yeah, I've never questioned her identity either. Sure, Lady Farina can be super irresponsible, but what grounds does that prosecutor have to make such a huge claim?
I have cause to believe that common sense will prevail in this case.
Nah,
Many of the members of the audience have
Ya
known me as the
iya,
Hydro
benar.
Archon See? Even the Oratrice has decided to show me its favor. Are you sure you want to commit to a charge that will never be upheld? If you wish to drop the case, I can promise you as the God of Justice that...
An argument with near impossible odds, huh? We have to not only refute Farina's claims, but also overturn the long-held
Kalau
beliefs
pakai
of...
uang akun.
I tried to give you the chance to surrender. If you must persist, then let me ask. if you believe I'm not the Archon, then what manner of being do you think I am? And if I was not the Archon, then how did I manage to live for over 500 years?
Ini kalau ini salah nggak sih? Dia cuma manusia biasa. Ih, salah ya?
That doesn't sound right.
Salah.
First of all, you...
Who gave you that idea? Was it the knave? You'd sink so low.
A curse? I once thought it possible that the aura of an Archon might naturally resemble a type of curse. But in light of this claim, perhaps what I sensed was not your divinity, but a curse after all.
You sensed it too, huh, Neverlet?
Lady Farina is
Betul.
actually a human?
Well, it is true that it's extremely difficult to tell humans and gods apart just by looking at them.
Sama dong.
Well, don't start celebrating too early now. Even if I have been carrying a curse like you said. Besides, everyone knows that the main difference between a human and a god is the possession of authority. Gods can do what humans cannot. That's why they're worshipped as gods. For centuries, manifestations of my authority have served the nation of Fontaine. One need only to turn their eyes towards the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinal in this very opera house, or consider the endemnitium that is used in...
Kenapa? Ini. Ih, bener banget.
You tried to reference the Oratrice. But weren't you as confused as all the rest of us when the Oratrice declared Child to be guilty without any proof? Otherwise, you should have come up with a...
Didn't I make myself clear at the time? The decisions of the gods are naturally difficult.
Lady Farina, I believe a reminder of your current circumstances is in order. While the court is in session, the principles of justice and the law must come before all else. While you are an Archon, you are also first and foremost the defendant in this trial. You will prove yourself unable to defend against the prosecution's charges if you continue to withhold vital information against them.
I never thought you'd use that kind of rhetoric against me.
That was no trick of rhetoric, Lady Farina. I've merely reiterated the rules of the court. Rules that all should respect and follow.
So, you neither knew why Child was declared guilty, nor did you understand the structure and operations of the Oratrice. Instead of having been created by you, the manifestations of authority you mentioned have been...
The real Hydro Archon. Well, it is true that I did not know why the Oratrice gave out a guilty verdict that day. But the Oratrice handed out that verdict unilaterally, and it has been operating independently ever since it was first created. You can't argue that just because a divine creation is flawed, that the god behind it must also be no god at all.
She's still throwing out all kinds of excuses. Seems like she's confident that we won't be able to produce proof that she has no power over the Oratrice.
My power as an Archon. There are many ordinary citizens in the audience. How can I just carelessly demonstrate the formidable power of an Archon?
If that poses a concern, I'm prepared to extend my protection to the audience.
You don't need to go that far.
Aren't you the Hydro Archon? Or is it that you can't even wield the power of Hydro, much less the authority of a
Indemnitium! Yes! It's all because of Indemnitium! All Archons derive their power from the faith of the people, and I've converted the people's faith in justice. Thus did I give up all of my divine power to provide everyone with energy for their daily lives. Have you ever seen a more
Isn't that?
Yeah. No matter how generous an Archon can be, how could they give up all their power? Can a god with no power even still be called a god?
It seems like nobody's buying Farina's excuse.
Hey, come now, everyone. Please don't stare at me as if I was a liar.
Jadi,
I'm still the same Farina you knew, right? The one that you loved. Shouldn't you want to believe in me? Please?
If what the prosecutor said is true, she really has committed a grave offense.
Did she deceive all of us? And all of our parents and grandparents too? And then all of our ancestors? Ever since they were born?
Enough. That's enough.
dia capek.
Tell me then, if I'm not the real Hydro, if you have no evidence of another Hydro Archon's existence, nor can you find anyone who can back up their claim to be such.
Wow, she came up with yet another argument. How can we
Oke. Perdan fashion dan mengeluarkan muda demi istrinya untuk menjawab cara adalah harus di air. Pintu masuk lautan terbuka di situ. Bawah jodoh terang. Ya, udah hampir menembus segel yang berkelanjutan. Ini kah? Pintar banget.
That doesn't sound right.
Harusnya ini.
That doesn't.
Apa ya? Ini kah? Sampai buka sih tanya.
That
Bener
doesn't
pasti
sound right.
hilangnya.
Paimon doesn't.
What the hell?
It has been established that all Fontanians can dissolve in water from the primordial sea.
Since you insist on claiming to be a god and not a human, then there's a method that you can use right here and now to eliminate all suspicions.
Miss Navia, please apply to serve as a temporary attorney for the prosecution before addressing the court. Though you act in partnership with the prosecutor, you must still adhere to proper procedure.
Super sorry, Monsieur Chief Justice. I swear this really will be the last now. I've brought some seawater from Poisson. As everyone knows, a massive flood struck the area not long ago, taking many lives, including those of some of my closest. So, Miss Farina, if we are to believe that you are indeed the real Hydro Archon, touching the seawater would have no effect on you. All it should do is strengthen your case. But if you don't dare to touch it, then we would have basically proved the reverse.
Clutch makin manis 1000. Apa aja? Gak nyambung bro.
Oh, and I must remind you that after the disaster at Poisson, nobody wants to see any more people dissolve. I do hope you'll act prudently and choose the simpler path of admitting guilt.
Navia from the Spina di Rasula. The Spina has governed Poisson for many.
If Lady Farina is indeed just a human, she's probably Fontanian like all the rest of us. Would she really dare to try?
Berani tidak ya pegang air itu. Cuman air. Nggak bisa sabo.
Lady Farina, this test has been unilaterally proposed by the prosecution. As it falls outside the realm of standard court proceedings, you possess the right to decline participation.
Well, of course he had to tell her that. But refusing to participate is basically the same as a confession of guilt.
She's just staring at the water without saying a single word.
What's going on? Is she really planning to... that's not what we thought she would...
Due to the inherent risk of the test, Lady Farina, you may...
What? Hey!
I'm fine! Look at me, everyone! Will you believe me now? I really am your...
Miss Siegewien? If you are present, Miss Siegewien, please come forward and attend to the defendant.
Siegewien?
Don't be nervous. It'll just take a few...
Please announce the results of your evaluation to the court, Miss...
As everyone doubtlessly saw, Miss Farina was displaying symptoms of hyperventilation and flushed skin. She was experiencing the adverse effects of exposure to primordial seawater. The extent to which she was affected is the same as other humans.
Thank you, Miss Siegewien. Lady Farina, you may...
Oh, wait. What did she just say? I didn't get dissolved. Shouldn't that be a...
Well, considering your tendency to run from your problems, we did originally prepare a direct sample of the seawater around Poisson. However, after extensive discussion, we exchanged it for a sample that is not concentrated enough to dissolve an actual human. After all, on the off chance that something entirely we don't want anyone else to lose their life to the sea.
Yeah, so out of regard for Farina's life, you secured a low-concentration sample and asked the head nurse to serve as an expert. It's a great thing that the direct sample wasn't actually used. Farina could have...
I can't believe... You...
Beda sekali dari dia yang biasanya kerupuknya halus, bahkan lebih penting dari nyamuk.
Listen to me, everyone. Please don't give me such cold and disdainful looks. Think about it. How can you conclusively prove that an Archon can't also be affected by the primordial seawater?
Kalau Archon bisa kebalik. Ya emang bisa kan?
Also, if I was really just a human, why would I dare to just put my hand in that kind of water? Please, everyone, anyone, just listen to me. I swear, I really am your Archon.
I don't think anything she says at this point will sway anyone. The odds are just too stacked against her now.
With all the things that have been said, Paimon doesn't think there's any way left for Farina to win.
I believe the time for arguments and presentation of evidence has come to an end. If there are no objections, we will move on to the final judgment.
I don't think anything she says at this point will sway her. She's too stacked against her now.
Ini kapan nih? Bentar. denger. Anjay.
In my capacity as Chief Justice, I shall now render judgment on Farina's misrepresentation of herself as the Archon of Fontaine. As a human who knowingly deceived her fellow citizens, Farina is guilty.
Guilty. No, Farina. Tidak.
We shall now turn to the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinal to render the final verdict on the charges.
Tapi kenapa yang ini ya? Bukan yang ini ya? Ini dong. Kan gimana sih?
According to the judgment of the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinal.
Well, what's wrong? What's the Oratrice's verdict?
No, the Oratrice also displays a guilty verdict.
Isn't that correct then?
However, the exact wording of the verdict is thus: to be punished via...
That's actually one of the available sentences? I've always thought that it
The one and only time the death sentence has been handed out at the court. And it's been given to the very person we've worshipped as the god of justice.
Farina's been sentenced to death by the Oratrice? We just wanted to use the trial to show her the seriousness of things so she'd tell us the truth.
Kayaknya dia tahu deh.
This outcome is indeed quite strange. According to Fontaine's current definitions of justice, as well as its recommendations for criminal sentences, is this sentence really appropriate for the crimes that have been committed?
Yeah! Even Vacher wasn't sentenced to death by the Oratrice. You know, the real evil mastermind behind the serial disappearances case.
Indeed. Not only is Farina's sentence overly excessive, the very point of our trial today was also to prove that Farina has never been the Hydro Archon in the first place. But now, the Oratrice seems to have deliberately invoked the title of the Hydro Archon.
Excuse me, if I may interrupt. Is the trial still...
Fremine! Huh, you finally made it. I assume this means you've completed your mission?
Mm-hmm. Any mission Father assigns to me will always be...
Is that the first prophecy slate? Huh. So the knave privately arranged for Fremine to try and find...
I looked everywhere and finally found it at the bottom of the sea. It took me a long time to get around some dangerous strip. But has the trial already concluded? Then... doesn't that mean I've come too late?
Thank you for your hard work, Mr. Fremine. Please allow me to review the record left on the slate. Traveler, I believe that you have already seen the other existing slates, and would like you to come here and confirm their contents.
Huh? So what do you see? What?
I believe I've now made sense of the Hydro Archon's crime.
Huh? So when you say Hydro Archon, do you mean the real Hydro Archon we've been kinda talking about?
In truth, everything that you've encountered in Fontaine up until this point can be traced back to the contents of these stone slates. However, I'm uncertain as to how much sense they currently make to you.
Okay, let's try to recall the contents of the other 3 stone slates. Paimon will do her best to help you remember.
Yang batu sebelumnya tuh dia ingat-ingat aku. Jadi disusun. Okay.
The first stone slate describes what you just said. Does that mean that Fontanians are
Jual
transformed
cyanid.
Oceanids? Oh, Paimon wasn't expecting that. But if Oceanids can turn into humans, then perhaps this process can be reversed as well. The second stone slate shows Celestia floating in the sky, and the Hydro Archon and her people worshipping it together. But the heavens still brought judgment down upon them.
Jadi
This must be the point when the Hydro Archon and the Fontanians were branded with their original sin. Does this mean that the original sin and the third slate shows the Hydro Archon sinking into the sea surrounded by many people? That reminds Paimon, didn't we also watch that happen to someone else?
sekarang
Well, the fourth slate is the prophecy the Fontanians have been talking about. People dissolving into the sea, the Hydro Archon crying on her throne, and so on.
itu tadi ya gila.
We didn't believe that such a crazy disaster could happen at first, did we? But after that incident, it was just a question of when and not if.
Ini tuh ini tuh yang ya tahu ini.
That doesn't sound...
Kan ini ya
That doesn't...
apa ya gimana
That doesn't... That doesn't sound... That doesn't sound...
ya dong.
We know from the case of the serial disappearances of young women that Fontanians can be dissolved in primordial seawater. And the first stone slate tells us that long ago, the Hydro Archon used her power to turn Oceanids into humans. This might be the reason that Fontanians can dissolve.
Oke. Lagi yang larut jadi ocean. Oh iya. Ini adalah bukti yang mudah banget. Ini apa ya lupa ya. Technician. Oke. Nah. Deh, ini bisa itu. Mana ya? Kalau sampai New Village ini berarti benar.
Perhaps what is about to take place has all happened before. The true sin of the Hydro Archon that Nervalet mentioned, and the original sin cast down on the people of Fontaine by Celestia, as recorded on the stone slates.
Ini tuh kalau nggak ini berarti Navia. Iya.
It's not as simple as falling into the sea. When Navia fell into the sea, her consciousness was subjected to judgment. The stone slates show the people gathered around the Hydro Archon in the sea. Could that be alluding to the same thing?
Kurang tahu. Nah, ini harusnya. Listen.
The prophecy from the fort, if we hadn't dealt with it in time, things could have gone very badly.
They'll dissolve into the primordial sea but won't cease to exist. Their essence will flow in the seawater, converge, and take the form of an Oceanid. The Hydro Archon was sentenced to death in court, shocking everyone present. Perhaps this means that her sin was... Navia fell into the water inside those ruins, and she nearly dissolved. She was surrounded by the people of Poisson in a court within her consciousness. and was forced to take part in a trial meant to make her stay.
Oh, dia dipaksa ikut sidang agar dia tinggal selamanya di sana. Oke, ini dia.
The eruption of the primordial sea at the fortress of Meripede was the surest sign that the prophecy was about to come to pass no matter what. The prophecy's contents can all be verified by recent events. If we combine what we know together...
Alright, benar. Hah? Kalau benar sih ya.
Huh? Oh, Paimon gets it now! So that's how you can make sense of it! But then it feels like we're going to have to share some truth.
Let's hear them.
Incredible. We're not real.
All Fontanians were originally created by the late previous Hydro Archon, with Oceanids as their basis. The evidence for that can be found in how only Fontanians could dissolve in primordial seawater, and how all the girls Vacher dissolved were also turned into Oceanids. Oh, and according to Navia, when she was about to get dissolved, she also saw everyone gathered around for a trial, all of them in the shape of Oceanids.
Indeed.
Yeah, and it follows from the content of the first slate that she probably angered Celestia. That could also explain why the Oratrice judged the Hydro Archon to be guilty. It's to account for that ancient sin.
The Hydro Archon's true sin?
And yet, after many hundreds of years, the Hydro Archon's creations have turned around to try to judge the Archon within the opera.
Yeah, isn't the image here just like when Navia fell into the sea? So wouldn't it be trying to show the image of the Hydro Archon also falling into the sea once the prophecy has been fulfilled in the fourth slate? In the end, the people will all be dissolved into the waters, and only the Hydro Archon will remain weeping on her throne. Only then will the sins of the people of Fontaine be washed away. Did Paimon get all that right?
You've made some keen deductions. I must say, given how much you still don't know, it is impressive that you've already managed to... However, while you were able to decode all the information on the slates, they've also been etched with an additional layer of hidden information using a different power source. When we were at the ruins, I tried to decipher the hidden information recorded in the slates. But since now that the slate collection is complete, I shall make another attempt to decipher the narrative recorded within. I believe I should share this truth not only with you, but with all the people of Fontaine as well. I will try to briefly summarize it for you. Your hypotheses regarding the origin of Fontanians and the sin of the Hydro Archon. In the Fontaine of old, the previous Hydro Archon sensed the yearning of her Oceanid familiars for life on land.
Oh, jadi Oceanid itu pengen hidup di daratan gitu. Di Fontaine masa lampau karena udah merasakan hasil para legend Oceanid yang untuk hidup di daratan.
The Oceanids were enamored with the beauty and romanticism of human beings, and wishing to have those experiences for themselves, expressed to the Hydro Archon their desire to become of a similar kind. However, even though water as an element is intricately linked with the power of life, the Hydro Archon, as one of the seven, did not possess the authority to create a new form of human life. Not one to give in, she eventually found a way to create permanent humanoid bodies for her familiars by appropriating the power of this planet's primordial sea. She poured primordial seawater into the Oceanids' blood vessels, creating humanoid mimics in the process. But if Fontanians were to ever come into direct contact with water from the primordial sea, the power within their bodies would escape these artificial restraints and return to the sea. As a result, their forms would collapse, and they would be reverted to their original forms as Oceanids. Of course, the Hydro Archon never received permission from the heavenly principles to create a new human race. And thus, the Hydro Archon and all of her creations came to shoulder the original sin of appropriating the power of the primordial sea. That is the true history of how the people of Fontaine first came.
So we were all Oceanids before we turned into human beings?
That's way too much information for me. I think I'm just going to pretend that I never heard a single...
Wait, but if that's the truth, we can't let the Hydro Archon be sentenced to death. After all, her only sin was creating us.
This really might be too much information for your regular Fontainian, but it does...
Alas, your hypothesis regarding the third and a key point of the visual on the third slate is how all the individuals depicted in the water they have not been dissolved, which implies that the water depicted in this slate is not water from the primordial sea. The nation of Fontaine is the nation of Hydro, as well as the nation of trials and justice. Instead of being the literal element, the water in the scene symbolizes judgment and justice. You may also recall Navia's experience. When she fell into the sea, her consciousness was surrounded by that of many others who intended to hold a trial to determine her fate. Therefore, the meaning of the third slate that the people of Fontaine shall try the Hydro Archon at the court of justice. Yes, it refers to our present situation.
I think I'm following now. So, what you're saying is, even though we decided to put on this trial, in truth, everything we've done has happened exactly as the prophecy foretold.
What should we do?
Huh. No matter what, the prophecy will be fulfilled.
If that's the case, does that mean the scene in the fourth slate will also be fulfilled soon?
Traveler, I would like to point out another small fallacy in your deductions. About the fourth slate, you probably thought that the eruption of primordial seawater beneath the fortress of Meripede served as the surest sign that the prophecy... However, I believe that rather than being a sure sign, that eruption could in fact only be a small warning of something far worse. As for the root cause of the catastrophe, I believe you've already encountered it once before.
Itu pertanda deh, kalau dia bilang itu pertanda, kalau itu ada ramalan, nah dia bilang kalau itu kan ramalan, tapi ada satu yang lebih buruk yaitu
This eruption was just a small warning of the things to come. We must find the root cause of the disaster.
Bukan lah, kata kira ramalan. Ya inilah.
It was both dream and reality.
Ya, yang kecil deh.
If we're talking about a true culprit, that could only be that thing inside the primordial sea, right?
The truth, the original...
Let's go. Apa tuh? Pasti ada suara harimau. Lah, nah ini pausnya, paus kecil deh. Wow, ini keren adik-adik. Gila. Kita lihat gitu. Terus kan sudah ya. Masuk deh, cepat masuk. Ya, kita masuk deh. Pasti ada suara payungan.
That was way too close! How did that thing just burst into the opera house? Wait, was that the huge whale you saw in your dream?
So we've met it at last. I understand very well why it has chosen to make an appearance here. That whale does not belong to Tevat. It is a monster that has traversed, it has been greedily consuming, and once it has finished
You said that when the Hydro Archon first created Fontanians out of Oceanids.
Precisely. That whale finds the blood of Fontanians nigh impossible. Therefore, when it left the Primordial Sea, it decided to make its next stop a packed opera house full of food.
We just barely managed to push it back, right? In that case, won't it come back to target the people?
That is correct. Indeed, it is more accurate to say that we should thank that Harbinger for buying us some time. Without him, from the way he looked, he must have been fighting the creature.
That battle maniac. We've always known that he had a special connection with that whale, but we definitely didn't expect it to help us out like this. Anyway, now that we know that this whale is the actual cause of the disaster recorded in the prophecy, all we need to do to stop the prophecy would be to find a way to beat it up, right?
It is too late. It had already absorbed too much of the Primordial Sea's energy before we could notice it, even if the entirety of
That's not something I will... We've already done everything we can, and we've come so far. You can't just tell me that the last hurdle is some impossible foe.
Indeed. That's not how a grand performance should end.
I'll fight it to the end, no matter what.
So the prophecy will be fulfilled no matter what, huh?
The prophecy. Yes, what has been prophesied will be fulfilled. Just as prophecies are usually only the future as seen from the perspectives of the gods, could things be happening in hidden corners where the gods' gaze does... Ultimately, fate shall serve as your only guide. No...
Kayaknya lagi mikir. Tuh kan? Iya, buruan Purnama.
What's happening with the oratories?
I believe it is preparing to carry out the death sentence.
No!
Farina! No, I still need answers.
Keren. Kan juga banyak spesies kok. Alah, siapa tuh? Alah, ya Miko, oh, bukan. Cari itu capek. Deng. Yalah, emang gitu ya? Lah.
You.
Sorry. That shocked expression on your face is just too amusing. I couldn't help myself.
You are not Farina.
Ah, the sweet sound of bewilderment. Marvelous. A sure sign that my attempt to deceive everyone was a resounding success.
Fosalo. What?
Oh, that wasn't my goal, of course. Goodness no, the heavenly principles.
Deceiving the heavenly principle.
It's all because of that pernicious prophecy. Dreadful, wasn't it? Everyone doomed to dissolve. Fontaine condemned to be flooded. One was not amused. In fact, one was positively bemused when that problem was thrust upon me by my dearest predecessor. She knew full well that the prophecy would end as one of the seven. She also knew full well that one defies the heavenly principles at one's peril. So yes, as you have no doubt surmised, it was a rather I spent a terribly long time mulling it over, alone on the ocean floor. And I was almost growing barnacles by the time I finally realized I had to outwit the heavenly principles, allow the prophecy to be fulfilled. I'm a genius, I know. I can only assume, although, looking back now, it was hardly the inheritance one dreams of. Between the task of saving the nation, the quote, but one can only play the hand one is dealt. I did not choose this, any more than—
So you were also once one of the Oceanids, transformed into a human by Egeria's hand.
Yes, I was. I always dreamed of becoming human. And I still do, even now. After becoming a god, I separated my divinity from my body and spirit, leaving behind only a self that was as naive and bewildered as my past self on her first day as a human being. The me you see before you now is that divinity. And the human counterpart I left behind, I named Farina. She could feel joy, sorrow, and everything in between. She could be as vain and conceited. Her strengths were of a kind only a human could possess. But in my eyes, Farina's humanity was what made her perfect. She was perfectly human anyway, so then I cursed her. All part of the plan, of course. The plan to deceive the heavenly principles. Do you still remember the final scene of the prophecy? The Hydra Archon alone. In order that the prophecy might appear fulfilled, I invited under the curse I placed on her. So long as I, Fosalor's divinity, continued to exist, she could not die. But nor was she free. Instead, she was forced to take the stage in the opera house, to embrace the role of leading lady. I suppose now you probably understand why your court is called the Opera Epiclese.
But Farina is only human, isn't she? Even though she has had a long life, her mind is no stronger than that of any other ordinary human being. I cannot begin to fathom what she has had to endure.
It has indeed. And although she is, in a sense, me in human form, I most definitely owe her an apology for it. It's been 500, and all along, she's been playing her part in the most unimaginably long, unbearably lonely, and agonizing.
Nah, apa ini alam bawah sadar Farina? nyari tahu sendiri ya, padahal udah jelas. Iya ilah, iya ilah, sebab cowok kan ini di poison terus tag sini gitu. Coba PM lagi tuh, terakhir kali masuk. Sabar bro, sabar.
Take it easy.
Ada lampu dah. Set dulu. Bagus.
Oh, who permitted you to come onto this stage? Now, all right. It is not my intent to reprimand you. There is no need to state your name. Just be off with you. Oh, do not jest. Can you not feel it? I am Focalor. The eyes of countless Fontanians are upon me. I must, at all times, display the utmost elegance and nobility.
Alright, udah berapa jam ini? Nah, ini emang.
Dear audience, the performance is experiencing a technical difficulty, but worry not. The guards shall resolve it soon enough.
Busted. Take it easy. No. Here comes the catch. Rain outlines your... Let me weave you a verse.
Defract.
Hey, what gives? The audience is still watching me, you know. Guards? Wait, where are the guards? Guards!
Quietly now. Huh? Things are about to get dicey.
By royal
Here you are.
Gotcha. Rain outlines your fate. Witness.
Wings of darkness.
Here comes the catch.
Tiket apa nih? Duh, capek nih. Ini mau sampai berapa lantai, bro? Ini udah kayak pas spiral. Lah. Lah. Mana? Ini tuh duduk. Ya iyalah. Bisa. Ya tuh. Nih. Bentar. Ya iyalah.
Farina.
Itu bisa.
Huh? Who's that? Who's calling me? Where are... Be not nervous. Be not afraid. Wait a moment. You're... mirror me? Mirror you, huh? You know what? Mirror me. What do... The prophecy. What prophecy? Wait. I know. I think the people will all be dissolved into the waters.
Oh.
What's going on? I can't seem to remember. And
Yes, it will. And that is why
But doesn't that mean everyone will die? I'm a Fontanian just like them. Will I...
Oh, don't worry. Matt, I will tell you.
Oh, as for... But if there were...
Yang bisa skip biar cepet lah ya.
I suppose this would also be... Huh? Don't worry, it's nothing.
Play as... a god?
That's right.
Belum lagu dah.
You must begin a never-ending masquerade. You must never let anyone suspect your identity. If you can keep it up, then I shall have my way of defying.
But how will I do?
Don't worry. Being a human yourself, I'm sure you remember your true...
I'm still not sure I understand, but... So, how long am I going to have to play?
To accomplish this mission, you will have to stay on stage for many, many years. You will endure and not grow, but I promise you, all will eventually end.
Trial, huh?
Oh, ya ilah. Ini mana ini? Ya ilah. Sendirian gini, serem dulu, serem juga. Ya. Ini full gratisan nih, Gus. Kita udah nggak cari seru di Gus. Ya padahal udah nggak bisa simpek guys.
The Maison Cardinalise has announced my accession, but this is my first time facing the people. What should I say to most appear like a god? To be honest, I still don't know. Perhaps I should first try to act natural. Ladies and gentlemen, good evening, and welcome to the Opera Epiclese. I'm sure you've all heard about how I have taken on the role of In truth, as the god Focalor. Once again, thank you. I thought I might stammer, but thankfully, I was able to convey my thoughts just fine.
That's the new Hydro Archon. Is this some kind of joke by the Maison? I would have thought that a being that surpasses humanity would be a bit more assertive.
Hey, did you hear that? She even told us to send her suggestions.
Shouldn't gods be all-powerful? She's being so modest. What's the difference between her and an ordinary person, then?
If you ask me, perhaps the succession didn't actually happen. She might just be a Maison-back puppet.
Wait, what's going on? Why is everyone suspecting me of being a fake? Oh, this is bad. If I could... Right. Mirmi said that I just need to play the role. Calm down, Farina. Think. What do the... Assertive. With a strong sense of presence. One who can dispel all...
Kalau dia coba.
Oh, very good, my people. Only ones such as you are deserving of my rule. Now, I was wondering if some weak puppet were to one day come onto the stage and claim ownership of this opera house, would the children of Well, it seems that you would all see right through them. Having passed my test, you are qualified to witness wondrous You may consider my previous act a door gift of sorts. I thought it was a debut that suited the atmosphere. Now then, let us be reintroduced.
Ah, so that was just a performance. How could I have forgotten that we were inside an opera house?
Her personality. It's quite shocking, to be honest, but I suppose it's a better look than before.
Such a fascinating and bold deity. How wonderful! Our future may yet be bright after all.
It seems I've turned them around. Best follow this flow and restart my accession speech. My dear people, whether you acknowledge me or not, whether you trust me or nay, I say to you, keep faith. We have heard it said that this won't work. They'll suspect me again. I must play the role that the scales of May law be the prayer on our lips. May judgment be. There is no trouble in this world that so long as I, the Archon Fosalor, stand within the Opera Epiclese, so long as
Aduh, kenapa ada yang gini sih?
Lady Farina, here are today's case reports, as well as a summary of the follow-up for your perusal.
Come now. Besides, none of
If I may.
a magnificent.
That's true, I fear I'll.
No need for fright, and do not take what I said before too seriously. Go now, do your duty.
Sidang selalu begini dengan belajar terusnya tiga ada sih.
Lady Farina, I don't know what to say. Thank you.
No need to thank me. Or rather, oh, all right. Deuteria, is it?
He's doing much better now. In fact, he is far more of an ardent believer than I. He was the...
Oh, good.
You're such a...
Lady Farina, here are the latest hydrological reports.
I see. It's as I thought then. As all manner of signs indicate that the prophecy will still...
Well, as I understand it...
Really? Have they found anything?
I'm afraid that they haven't...
Nih, kamu ada tuntutan apa gitu? Atau mungkin anu ya, gengsi every day.
The day is finally over. But it's good to see that everything's getting... Maybe this is fine. All right.
Lady Farina, here.
They'll...
Lady Farina.
Indeed, my...
Lady Farina, we're detecting significant...
Understood. I feel utterly exhausted.
Anjir, ini ada adegan 18.
Lady Farina, it's like a dream. I've heard that the first member of our... Surely you exaggerate.
What is it?
Are you crying?
Really now? This must be the overflow of hydro from my person. Well, can't quite help being the god who's...
No wonder. No wonder. A manifestation of your power, then. Oh, Ark.
So interminable. Hundreds of years must have passed by now. Perhaps the show must go on. I never imagined. Have I reached my limit? I want to tell someone, anyone, about this. But I've conducted so many investigations. All I can do is keep heart. I must maintain this act. It is the only way to save Fontaine.
Adegan ke 182.000 yang baru plus satunya ya adalah
Farina, you don't have to shoulder this burden alone. Although I don't know what you might be keeping from everyone.
Oh, ini peran yang ini.
Your people are more than willing to share your burden with you.
Aku bisa cerita
Share my burden.
Nah, ini.
That's impossible. It was fated right from the start that this would be my duty alone.
But even if your burden doesn't need to be shared, you can still choose to confide in someone. Just share it with me. I'm what you...
A witness. Yes, I've heard. And if Tevat is, in its entirety, a show on a stage, then you're just a spectator, aren't you? If that's the case... He's right. I could confide, but if things don't play out as expected, the people of Fontaine will be the ones to pay the price. No, Farina. But what if... What, Farina? You've worked so hard for so long. Sure, is it such an outrageous thing to do anyway? To find someone in whom you can confide your frustrations and sorrows? If you let this opportunity slip through your fingers, it might never come by again. Think about it. Long and hard. No, I have nothing to say. I am Farina, the Archon of... All you need to do, dear spectator, is to witness my performance until the curtains...
Fine.
hilang begitu saja.
So even Farina doesn't know the truth? You've never once let her in on the full plan?
Yes, it had to be done. To deceive the heavenly principles, you must first deceive yourself. She did very well. If she had let her resolve falter even once in these 5 centuries, Fontaine would have been doomed. It seems that trusting humanity was...
I believe that I understand how your deception works, but that is only half the truth, is it not? How would you build on this foundation to save the people?
Ah, good, good. Of course, the Iudex of Fontaine has pimped. I'm sure you've long sensed that the Oratrice is no simple machine, yes?
I've always suspected that it had its own consciousness. And Lenny did mention that he heard a human voice within the core chamber. It now seems that that person was you, hidden with...
And then I became one with the Oratrice, taking Fontaine's gnosis with me. Yes, alas, your understanding of this device still... In truth, it is no enactor of justice. It is, in fact, a device created to kill the god of justice. Oh, you have it. And to be more precise, not only will the Oratrice take down the god of justice, it will also take down the divine throne upon which she has been placed. I mean, did you think I would be the sort to enjoy peaceful repose? My work over these last 500 years has been to constantly accumulate indemnitium within the Oratrice. But really, some have already discovered that only a small fraction of the vast majority had to be.
It was all a part of your plan then? Both the trial and the sentence?
Indeed. This power, accrued over 5 centuries, could have sustained Fontainians for millennia, had it only been used for that purpose. Almost all of it has now been stored within the Oratrice. But only power of this magnitude could hope to destroy the Hydro Archon's divine throne, shaking the rules established...
So the Oratrice's call for death was for neither Farina nor Focalor, but for the Hydro Archon. The destruction of that divine throne. If I...
Returning what's rightfully yours to you, of course. In other words, this was all done to return the authority of the Hydro Archon to...
But...
Oh, what? The authority of the ancient dragons shall soon be...
All you've done throughout...
I've never quite seen it. Hydro Dragon, Hydro Dragon. I must say, had it been within my rights, I would have loved to judge the... Egeria stole the power of the primordial sea. And the heavenly principle. I, for my part, speaking of justice, I have always believed that justice lies. So, if the theft of the primordial sea's might was Fontaine's original sin, then, leaving matters of procedural right and wrong aside, the descent of the Fontainians as humans and their right to exist, in other words, defying the prophecy. At this point, Iudex Nervillet.
So when I was invited to the court of Fontaine to serve as Iudex, at last, I now understand the true purpose behind this. In the beginning, I was uninterested in human existence. But these 5 centuries of living alongside them have gradually brought about mutual... You are a devious one, Focalor. Things being as they are, surely you know that I could never declare them to be guilty.
Akhirnya, ya ilah.
The hour of my execution is almost here. For the sinner, the curtain call has come. I know I may not sound it, but faced with death, I find myself a little afraid. Perhaps this is one thing both gods and humans have in common. Farewell, Nervalette. I hope you've enjoyed the part you played these 500 years.
500? yang lain itu kemana tuh? Nah, joget juga tuh si Florina. No. Lina hilang. Tidak. Jadi itu naganya sih. Sebenarnya si naga itu ya. Tapi kenapa dia bisa nangis? Tuh kan, jadi hujan ya gara-gara.
I, Iudex Nervalette, hereby declare, people of Fontaine, your sins are forgiven.
Apa maksudnya? Kurang ngerti. Fine, karena di situ belum itu ya, siap. Fine, baiklah. Ini paus gimana nih?
What just happened?
Was that bright light some sort of misdirection?
But
It's time to end this. We must mete out execution.
Pak pakai headset kali. Iya. Cari Gisya. Enakan pakai. Ya. Biar.
But how are we going that? It's huge!
I've already done my best to separate them.
Boleh lah, turut kesulitan. Tapi ya enak, apa ya? Ya iyalah.
I can find a way to attack it from within. I
Ini
shall
kah?
share a part of the ancient dragon's power with you. We shall look for an opening together. I can feel its sorrow turning into hostility.
Wah ini mah ya iyalah malas. Ini nggak mungkin bisa. Nggak mungkin bisa.
Continue to trigger its hostility, and a chance will present itself.
Ya makin strong. Ini nggak bisa sumpah. Ini gimana ceritanya? Astaga. Kalian bener kan? Tapi keren banget.
Why is there a hole-looking thingy over there? It looks really
Baru bisa.
Here's one.
Udah ada ini nih di airnya.
Quietly now.
I have granted you my protection. Do not fear. Seize the moment and use my power to suppress its root from within.
Mas, atau bentang.
Rain outlines your fate.
Defract.
Venom. Malas nih Venom gitu.
Authority of the ancient dragon. Witness the might of the primordial sea.
Busted. No, my sword.
Oh gitu, ya.
Here comes the catch.
Well now.
Nambah lagi darahnya.
Gotcha. Game's up. Time's over.
Anjing, pasti jalan itu. Masih nggak ya. Ya siapa nih? Ya siapa? Nih si itu kecil deh, nggak tahu lupa aku. Masih pasti.
Thanks for helping with the cleanup. It should have been my job, but it was just supposed to be a short private training. Well, actually, I had a feeling that it would happen.
That power. Who are...
It's just that he is.
I simply did not have anything to say to the weak. But you, on the other hand, managed to defeat the all-devouring narwhal without... So you may speak to me as equals. I have to agree. It's a strange use of that kind of power is wasted. All in all, it fails as a pet.
Mister?
The point being?
Well, being that this pet almost destroyed... So what sort of person is your master? Well, child's master's master. Wait, is that...
Oh, right. So you don't know him. Sorry, I assumed you did. His name is Sertologi.
Huh?
I am unfamiliar with that.
Huh. So Master is insufficiently famous.
The foul?
Still nothing? Well, how about the...
Oh, that one we've heard. Rhine Doctor's part of the Hexen Circle. She's obeyed us.
Oh, so you do. But I suppose you understand now, yes? My math.
Wait, didn't you also mention a...
Actually, never mind that. That the all-devouring narwhal, such roiling hydro and as such. The fawn. In other words.
What?
Not to worry. Focalor has...
katanya
In the end, the people will all be dissolved into the waters, and only Farina will remain, weeping on her throne.
Hah? Lah.
Only then will the sins of the people of Fontaine be washed away.
Lah, tapi atau agak aneh. Kita monster Sumeru jadi kan nggak masuk ke gimana tuh?
Hey! Help! Over here!
Lah, kok bisa tenggelam? Tamat kah? Banyak banget. Siapa yang bilang larut tuh? Lah. Ini apa ini? Yes. Rio. Ferminin mah beda, dia bisa nyelam. Dia nyari ini si ini bukan sih? Si penguin tuh.
Look, the water's receding.
It's a miracle!
Water's receding.
We didn't dissolve. The prophecy was wrong. The prophecy was wrong.
Are you alright?
Let's go.
What's wrong?
Let's go. Tapi malah jadi Rafa. Ya lah surut. Gimana rasanya? Orang dunianya itu luas. Gimana nggak surut ya? Aneh banget.
The soil renewed. The Svina di Rasula talks post-disaster rebuilding. I recently visited Poisson to meet with Miss Navia. Spokesperson, old soil can still give birth. Skyship Winglet, lunar brain of the Fontaine Research Institute.
Kalau bang Winglet manfaat atau mudat bagi isi penelitian
The
konten.
various disputes that have arisen on account. People always call the first researcher mad, but wow, Paimon barely recognizes the people in the reports. Are those really?
What do you think? Pretty enthralling, huh? The Steambird's idea was pretty simple. With the disaster just having passed,
we would print a free edition packed to the margins with the value for these big scoops lies in their inevitable follow-ups. We'll publish further reports, and Edwin's assistant, Jurier, created a...
Paimon's curious too! Wait a minute. Didn't we watch everything happen from start?
And that's exactly why I'd like you to come conduct interviews with me. You're the best incubators of news if you...
Are you sure?
Oh, this time will be different. Come on.
Oh, nggak ada. Weh, siapa nih? Mata bintang. Wow. What? Alright, let's go into the city. Ini dia. Ini vokal aja tempat itu. Yang mau tuh kayaknya nggak ada tanda-tanda. You know what I mean? Gas kan, gacha, gas, kuki ya. Let's go. Sino, nah ini dia official. udah bisa. Iya, ditambah ada ini cuy. Baru kesempurnaan hyper blue. Mana Kuki Shinobu.
Don't tell me they did it again.
Let's go. Ini set, nah itu yang bikin hyper blue. Lumayan sih akhirnya terus menerus. Walaupun healnya terlalu deras ya, suaranya kegedean sih. Ya pasti kegedean. Ini ada backsound. Ini nggak hancur atau gimana gitu. Tuh ikannya masih ada loh. Aneh ngebug ini.
Oh, it's you. What brings you all here?
Hey, we're just having a look around.
I'm here to update myself on how things are going here. Oh, the Fatui are here too.
Let me introduce you. This is Mr. Garuntz. Our residents are...
Hello, Miss Charlotte. I'm a big fan of yours, but if you don't mind...
I get where you're coming from. Keep it as simple as possible.
That would be fine. Thanks.
Oh, you're back too. How are things?
We finished laying down the construction materials.
Huh? You're here too, Clarion?
Well, her reputation's greatly risen after that whole duel business with Miss Farina. So she's here in Poisson to wait out the...
There's too much to consider in the reconstruction of Poisson.
Wait just a moment. Do you mind me asking a few questions? You know, about how you...
Forget it. I'm sure you can find a better theme than that, Miss Charlotte.
I see you're the same as always. Couldn't you do me a favor?
Well, if we're talking about doing things for my sake, you might as well just take a few more photos of me. Or of the travel.
Of course I will. I'm not gonna let him off that easy. All right, then everyone who wants...
Chill bisa.
How did it go? Was it a good shot? Did Paimon look cute in it?
Not bad. Your addition really helped the composition of the picture. All right, hang on a moment. Let me snap a few more shots. All right, that should do it. I'll be back here later anyway, so let's call it a day.
Terus gimana sih? Ya ramalannya ramalan.
You're very quick.
Kalian harus menipu ini.
Speed is of the essence when it comes to the new. Also, not to brag, but I'm pretty good at building connections. Who knows? Wow, you really do have that never say.
I'll hazard a guess that this is how you got that interview at the Fortress of...
Whoa, you're well informed. Let me make a guess too. I asked Sigewin, who told Monsieur Nervillette, and he told you.
That's a...
In truth, Monsieur Nervillette, I told him that it was best not to speak to me.
You're right. I've got to stay safe now. And tell me.
Terus dia masih ngelakuin gitu jadi si Furina tuh. Ya ilah, TP lagi. Aduh, kenapa ini ya? Yang selaras nggak ada, cok. Ini aja. Hahaha. Ini ke tempat Sirio. Sebenarnya aman sih. Jadi bisa aja ngungsi ke sini. Ini tempat aman. Gak mungkin hancur. So cerita bener. Terus gunanya kita kesini ngapain?
Wow, guess we're here again, huh? There's a realness stuff.
Looks like you've been missing us. Of course.
Dude.
I'm here to welcome you.
It's an honor to finally meet.
No need to thank you.
Of course, of course.
All right then, this way.
Let's go. Ini gayanya si Yeo apa di?
Hey, no need to be so. Miss Charlotte.
It would seem that Miss Lorvine doesn't want her face.
Sir, please don't say things like...
But it looks like dear...
No, I just... This is my first...
Now, I might not look it, but I actually did meet Mr. The boat that brought about a miracle. The ark that's still, if I might ask. Where... Looks like Shadow...
I have to apologize, but that ship is presently in the bowels of our factory. I'm afraid...
Really? Well, then in that case, could I have an interview with you?
You already know my answer, I'm afraid. Best you interview our head nurse instead. Or perhaps you'd like to...
Did you really have to use the word... Well, then, two solo...
Is my hair messed up? Please, someone...
Things sure are getting pretty lively here. Oh, seems like everyone's here. Would any of you like to try?
Ah, Sigewin.
Hey, Miss Charlotte. Sure. Come on, Miss...
Oh, sure. Do I have to smile? So, how have things been at the front?
Same old, as you can see. Fontaine...
Other than that flying ship.
That's why I decided to...
You're too kind, sir.
I see. Lots of things.
He sure did with...
I'll tell them that there's good news.
Oh,
What change can there be? As to what Miss Farina's departure will mean for the nation, and if our laws and governance will be transformed, we'll leave...
Hey, everyone. The photo shoot's done.
Good. In that case, let's call it...
Thanks for your cooperation. Come on, Traveler, let's go. Tell me...
There'll be a next time?
Maybe. Who knows? I might write a story about the underwater All right. Last stop, the docks.
Ya iyalah lama. Capek banget. Bang, woi.
Navia mentioned that she stayed in touch with Linny and the others after working together. Apparently...
Traveler, Paimon. Ah, and Miss Charlotte, too.
Would you like a magic pocket?
What sort of gadget is it?
It's a wondrous bag that can be...
Trick a friend. I wonder which of my friends...
Ingetin dah.
You could just make a friend like Fremine here. Isn't that right, Fremine?
Is this what you meant by...
To be honest, that sounds pretty sweet. Could I have...
Sure.
You sure are working hard to help Fremine socialize.
He was the one who proposed doing this. He even wants to assist.
Yes, I was planning to first introduce Pear as an assistant, and later Fremine.
That said, would anyone want to see a diver escape underwater?
Oh, it'll work out. Every journey begins with the first step.
Lynette, could you come over? Miss...
Got it.
My, that Charlotte is rather perceptive. She got... Father says that...
That's a...
Oh, after Lady for...
A diplomatic...
Yes, I was... It could have been done as... Furthermore, Father did also...
That's true.
I would agree, but I've...
So there's some...
I suspect you'll have to ask him about...
Isn't he real big? But back to the topic.
They say that he's returned to Snezhnaya to recover from...
That's true. When you think about it, we've had loads of run-ins with the Fatui.
So shocked by such a simple switching of sides?
Father.
Ayah, baru ingat ya.
What do you know?
Dia punya
Come to the
bilangnya
docks
ayah.
to see how my children...
Are you going to take the gnosis back to...
That is our duty, as... Don't be too preoccupied switching my masks. Yes, well, that depends on many things. No one truly knows what
Father,
the future
pernah ini
holds.
miripnya ibu.
What good is... As for you, I very much look forward to our
Father
next
itu
collaboration. Good things cannot be achieved alone,
father
and you've
atau
proved
dia
yourselves to
bilangnya
be
father
great
tuh
partners.
ayah atau ketua ketua apa ya
A vision. All right. I'll remember to return it. Thank you for keeping it.
And that's a wrap for me. Huh?
Greetings, Miss Journalist. That is correct. So forgive me, but I will not be able to serve as a subject in your article. However, feel free to write as much as you'd like about our dear magicians. The sea breeze is quite pleasant.
Farewell, Father.
Oh, she has such an intimidating presence. I didn't even dare to take a picture. Thankfully, I've already wrapped up all my pre-scheduled interviews. Thank you all. This'll be more than enough.
Don't be too nervous. Why don't you take a magic pocket before you go? Here, traveler, Paimon, you take one.
To move things about?
That's right. Funny. I guess this must be... Alright then.
lama juga ya. Aduh, cari nih Violet ini mau sampai kapan tai game dah aja lama udah lama ngapain lagi gak suka dia kalau kayak gini ini ke belakang ya harusnya bisa lewat sini kasian lah ini kata tiba-tiba mati
Really? Oh, I suppose you must. In any case, you came.
Alright, let's have it. So that's what happened? But Paimon still doesn't quite get what...
For me, The Fontanians were incomplete humans born of Egeria's use of the power of the primordials, but so long as, in other words,
Ursula must have counted on you to make that decision as well. Yeah, and
it seems from your expressions that you still have more things you wish to ask away. I will tell you the truth as I know it.
hey, when we spoke, we guessed that there.
So regarding this specific issue, in truth, I exchanged some further words with that lady named Skirk after sending you two back to the surface. It went something like this.
Emang ada gitu yang mau sampai gue itu either sama satu lagi.
Well, we're going to head topside to see what's going on. You hurry over soon as well, all right, Nerf?
What next?
I can find it is the authority of the planet's primordial dragons.
Sini mau aja lagi kan.
I'm sure I've encountered something like this before.
I do not
Lama ayolah.
Of course. How could I forget? You should have the
Oh,
remains
pengen
of
main
the
game lain.
I've never heard of any such thing.
Udah berapa jam?
According to your
Aduh.
That much is true. But I fear I have never heard of it described.
Aku takut kepencet.
Just did.
I've been training. It is only natural for them. Regardless, you should probably to live in itself is a blessing. But what
do you mean by that?
No need to fret.
Aduh.
These are just
Ayolah, ini pelet lama.
Master never mentioned. If you're interested, though, I could ask him. I'll be sure to.
Next time, you believe we will meet again?
I do. Wait. I have a disciple of mine.
That's what she told me. Whether it would prove useful or...
The remains of the third descender? So that's what the Gnosis actually are.
All the same, assuming that there was no mis...
And she said that it would...
If she speaks the truth... I had guessed that you might already be familiar with this concept, but I did not expect you to be one of them. That means that the Gnosis, which are exceedingly element compatible and can even enhance... I wonder, does your body also possess similar properties?
Like being able to use elemental powers without a vision. That does sort of count as... No, let's not think about this stuff right now. Comparing the Traveler to the Dead, that's what you say, but this topic's... Let's talk...
I too believe it unwise to make too many blind guesses.
Alright.
Yes. All...
But... She sacrificed...
I suppose that would be the... I suspect not. But once in a while, I too would guess that if with life float... And what?
Mak, nih pelet. Akhirnya selesai. Astagfirullah. Mau lihat tuh. Ini quest aku sekarang. Apalagi ini nih. Kalau ada kunci, aku mau buka kunci dulu aja. Kita buka. Terima aja dulu questnya mah, ini ntar biar numpuk gitu. Lihat banyak kayak infokan penjoki quest. Aduh, gak yakin aku. cookies rainbow. Ini mah pakai Stardust. Berapa? 3 gaskan. Enter 3 dapatnya 9. Ascen. Nah, 2 ini. Enggak lah. Karena ini elektro, jadi kita pakai crit red. Ini bagus ya. Tapi Gilded Dream ya gitu. EM seharusnya. Aduh, gak yakin aku. Ini nggak salah ya yang penting ya. Oh iya, ntar. Ini Lisa. Ini cowok Lisa ya cowok. Lisa tuh. Oke, itu jelek. Kita cari yang elektro. Boleh. Ini aku nggak salah ya dia. Warga. Ya udah. Hydro. Ini hydro cak. Ini pakainya kan bagus. Oh enggak, ini udah ada kan. Dan ini warp div ya. Banyaknya elektro. Oh ini bisa Gilded Dream nih. Kalau jadi AM plus 80. Ini sih yang agak lain. Aku pakai set apa? Gilded Dream lah. Gue pakai Created EM. Terus kalau ini nggak salah aja Gilded Dream 3 tinggal pakai Gilded Dream kali ini boleh gak sih? Ini sebelumnya aku pakai ini ER itu nggak terlalu ini energi apa ya, nggak terlalu ya. Gas ini masih ya. Aduh, ini ada kan? Boleh nih. Tuh full Gilded Dream. Weh. Nah ini BTW nih. Biasanya sih ini bisa diambil. Kok diambil lagi? Ini dapat sih. Dan sudah tamat. Dan apa yang terjadi kita ganti sebenarnya ada nggak bakal ini nggak bakal dapet. Mau nambah gitu dulu. Tes dimik gak sih? Tes dimik gak sih? Inilah saatnya. Ayo btw ada gajah dapat mono. Gak kuning tuh dari kapan tahu. Wait, agak berisik. Status damage-nya di mana? Yang pastilah di mana lagi kalau bukan di sini. Tempat gabut plus emang udah bagus di situ deh. Kalau buat aku sih di situ ya. Aduh, ada aja. Pertama kita cari dulu PR.
Quietly now. Take it easy.
Thank you. Ini juga nih harus makan dulu. Yes. Ntar nunggu bilang biru.
Rain outlines your fate. Let me... Here comes the catch. Stand with me.
Nah ini gini. Aduh, itu gini. Apa juga terusnya? Dia mati baru jadi.
Our bond is strong.
Here you are.
Gotcha. Things are about to get dicey.
Ring cutter.
Skillnya tuh kenceng banget. Skillnya ini gila. Wah. Gak bisa lagi. Ngehil lagi. Udah mau nambah hyper belum ya kan? Besi. Nah, sudah di sini. Kalau biasanya butuh HP. Ini dia nih. Pyro-nya itu dari mana bang? Ini karena kita nggak punya ini. Saya cari ini dulu. Anu coy, nah.
Busted.
Cari sekian R dulu. Nah, udah, thank you. Let's go. Lah, iya, ntar. Bentar. Oh, sakit. Oh, enggak. Ini si Kukin ngurangin darah buat nih. Bagus ya. Jadi yang dia pentingin itu darah. Kondisi jadi kita harus jadi apa? Jadi inilah siapa lagi?
You want me on your...
Yoi bro. Ini juga ada healer sih.
Stand with me. Everybody stand back.
Here comes the catch.
Lightning purified. Our bond is strong.
Quietly now.
Nggak salah pemulai di sini.
I'm going in. Benny's
Inilah
adventure
mati.
team. I have failed you.
Here you are.
Ya. Jangan dikit ya. Sakit ya. Oh, lihat. Inilah. Pakai kuncinya. Pindahin gitu. Begini. Healernya bagus sih dari dia butuh heal bro.
Stand with me.
Gini terus
This way.
darah. Payment bagus. Kita main lagi ya. Galas nih. Keluar dulu bentar ya. Keluar. Kembali ke menu utama. Waduh. Nah. Udah oke sekarang adalah waktunya apa? Ini kita main Roblox. Wah, cara gimana ya? Ini kali ya? Tuh. Lihat. Nih, halo. bisa itu atas ya. Kok bisa di sini kayak gitu? Ada 2 kali game kayak apa? Ya ada yang mati. Ya ilah. Kurang ngerti sih kayak gue pakai ya ilah udah mati dulu kan. Agak kayak gini, ada yang gerak itu. Apa tuh? Ya iyalah. Alah, dipentalin ke aku. Aku pakai kolo juga ya. Kalau lagi nahan Nah. Alamak, dia maju cowok. Kita mau pakai siapa ya? Gojo. Gojo. Ini ada pack banget bagus. Si Gojo ini satu lagi ada password deh. Ih, nice. Apa nggak lihat? Kayak gitu tuh bisa di counter pakai ini, ekgal atau lainnya. Soalnya dia, lihat nih, gua kaget. Ya udah nggak 2 kali damage bangke. Kecil. Ya iyalah kayak gitu sih. Oh ini gila, wis, aduh, ini jangan ngambil resiko. Gila. Kalau aku masih banyak, jadi aman. Masih banyak. Oh, kalau 2 damage itu tak aktif cowok, gila. Jadi aku yang main juga kalau itu. Aku yang 2 kali damage. Aku yang 2 kali. Ya. Pas ke desa apa ya? Oh itu. Ini ke aku. Phải bấm gì đây? Ông nggak yakin sih. Jadi pakai efek dulu. jalan tuh. What the hell? Wait, untung selamat. Menurutku ya iyalah mulai. Ini pas kayak gitu sih kayak ribet ya. Wah, gitu banget. Bisa itu aja. Ya. Foxura lah, ya iyalah kalau nggak mana kurang 500. Tapi pakai ini sistem tracknya gimana? Lagi. Nah ini aku saya dia super jam. Sonic slide. Sonic slide ini sih yang bagus ya itu. Oh dia hilang. Oh iya juga aku belum screen. enggak. Al-Maun. Oh ini bagus ini. Berarti bangun. Kita tetap ferry. Aduh, bangke. Gak ada guna nih. Telepon. Akhirnya aku bangun. Ini gak bisa. Akhirnya yang ke atas itu jadi dua. Keren ya. Ya, dapat lagi. Bawa terus, lari. Ini kenapa dah? Bang Jamie, ada yang namanya bang. Jaran, lari. Ini sih gitu. Ya iyalah diambil. Ya lah, ini nih. Ini bagus. Belas dah. Tuh harus kata bagus ya dari gue sampai. Ada apa ini? Saya tak baik. Dikeluarin. Ya iyalah gitu banget bro. Ini aja misalnya ini passing set anjay gitu. Gitu keren. Hampir ya kok. Ya, iya. Aku mati ya, cuma ke atas ini komiknya bagus, ada bisnis gitu bang, tebal gitu. Oke, coba kalau misalkan komiknya berarti tapi kalau ini gitu ya, aneh ngebug ya. Emang sebelum ya bisa skip apa ya? Iya, jangan naik. Tas. Berapa ya? Ini. Sama aja. Aku mau update dulu. Ditembak. Keren. lumayan enak udah. Ya enggak bensin tapi nyampe ke 100. Ini kenapa banyak gila deh. Ini dapat lagi. Ini pisang rampok. Dari kertas. Dok yang mati. gitu. Di atas. Di atas. Jadi pas dia pertama bye. Oh iya, udah ini apa aja ya? Waduh, nah pantas aja nih, kenapa ya? Aduh, Indonesia ya, aku ganti sawernya, capek udah 31